Okay. All right, we're going live, folks. It's 10 o'clock. I'm hoping you can see me and you can hear me. I'm going to turn off the air conditioner just to be safe. Okay. Give me a second here to get all situated, but the technology's good. Just sitting in my little stool here. We're going to start in about a minute here. I'm just doing final prep, making sure everything's working. I just want to go to my YouTube channel. Your channel. Let's see if it's live. And we're live. Let's see. Okay, you can hear me. I can hear myself. Hey, you can hear me. I can hear myself. Hey, you can hear me. I can hear myself. All right. All right. All right. Do we have anybody on? I don't even know. Four watching. Four. Okay. We have 4 people watching. So you can see I have 3 cameras going. And all right. I'm going to mute my. The one thing I'm going to do is live chat. Open the panel. Here we go. Oh. Just give me a second here. I want to open the chat room here. Okay. And I'm just typing. All right, I just typed, hello, is there anyone in there? Just not if you can hear me. I would love it if one of the 4 people currently watching could comment just to make sure I know that's working. And I will keep an eye on that. And that looks just a little bit dark. Oh, there we go. I'm going to brighten that just a little bit. There we go. All right. So, good morning. I'm Rudy Samsel, the co-founder of Guys with Rides, the trusted dealer-free resource for classic and collector car enthusiasts. You're joining me on my Saturday morning Grime Time with Rudy, Grime Time Live, where I do dumb things in real time in my garage so you don't. It's been a busy week for me. At the Guys with Rides shop we've purchased 2 cars. I will have videos of posted of introductory videos that came in. One came in the Friday before Labor Day, and we picked up another one yesterday. The one last Friday is a 63 Imperial Crown convertible, one of 531 produced. That is going to be a mainly cosmetic project that we're going to turn around pretty quickly. And the other one I picked up yesterday with my colleague up in Allentown is a 1973 Triumph TR6. We bought it from the seller who had had the car since the late 80s. He painted it and has never put it back together since. So it's going to be one of those projects, a stalled project that he's done the hard part, the body work and the painting. We just need to assemble it, get it running again, and find a new home for it. So those are coming up. Here in the garage, it's been busy. my wife, Nurse Nancy's Audi, was having starting problems, and I was going down the rabbit hole of either a fuel pump or something else going on with the car. Turns out it was the battery. These modern cars, if you start seeing funky electrical things going on with your car and the battery's over 4 years old, chances are good that's the culprit. That happened on my Cayenne, the two batteries I've had to put in that over the last 7 or 8 years. And most recently, the Audi A3. What I went down the rabbit hole thinking it's a diesel and it's either fuel or air. And unfortunately, it's electronics on that car. So I was busy with that. Also did an oil change on the car. You can look through my nearly 1,000 videos. I do have an oil change video on the A3 out there. So with all of that going on, I thought I'd do something more general that applies to people. Probably everybody's curious. I have scratches on the Boxster that's next to me and the Cadillac STS, my daily driver. And if you have a cup of coffee, drink it. It's a very humid day on this first Saturday of September here in central New Jersey, Hunterdon County. All right, so enough of the BS. What do I do to fix a scratch? Well, the first thing is I get good paint. That's a good match. And now I'm not sponsored in any way, but I use, if you've seen it, automotive touch-up paint. And I'm hoping that's going to focus in. Maybe this camera's better. Yeah, there we go. Automotive touch-up paint. They're online. They have a variety of supplies. So this one is Zenith Blue Metallic, which is a great match for the Boxster. And this one is Ming Blue, which is what's supposed to be for the color on the STS. I forget what they called it for this particular car, but it's Ming Blue is the color for General Motors. So those are the two colors we're going to use. I use a variety of Griot's products to bring it back. It's the complete compound. I go to the complete polish, the one-step sealant, and then with each of those. So with the compound, I use an orange buffer pad, and the black one is for the complete polish. And that. You see, I have a cup of water here. That is for the sandpaper. I have 1,500 grit and 2,000 grit. I sand those down before I level out the repair with those before I go to the polish. And I have a buffer. However, if you have a good drill, you can do what I'm about to do because it's a low speed polish that I do with this. All right. A good LED light is critical for seeing things. I have tack strips. I generally have those at my disposal. A little alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I'll get to that in a minute. Lacquer thinner. Touch-up paints are generally made of lacquer. So if you screw up, the beauty is you can use the lacquer, wipe it off with the lacquer thinner. I don't know which camera just shut off. Oh, okay. No comments yet, other than myself from Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, let me know if you can see it. The other thing I didn't show is, in addition to the paint color, I do have clear coat from the same company, Automotive Touch-Up Paint. Another thing they offer that I highly recommend, you'll see me use these. I do not use the brush that comes with the touch-up paint. I use these very, very fine paintbrush sticks that Automotive Touch-Up Paint sells. They come in this convenient thing, although I don't like the fact I found over the years, I probably had this several years, this bottom is rounded and it tends to tip. And if this is open, you end up losing a couple. But you'll see me, I'll demonstrate that in a minute. course, the buffer, but you can use a drill, and a variety of microfiber towels. I just use my Kirkland ones on this. And so the goal here is I just don't put paint on a scratch and then leave it, and you got this, I think it looks more unsightly than the scratch itself. Over the last 20 or 30 years, I've developed my process to fill the crack with the color, uh, level it out, put a little clear over it, and then polish it out. And it blends so well between the color match and that it's very difficult when I'm done with a scratch to pull it up. And because I do participate in Concours with the Boxster behind me here, um, the rule of thumb with that is if you've addressed a scratch, that means tried to fix it, points will not be deducted. And this car is a preservation class car, so I want to fix things. So the Cadillac behind the cameras here, that has a variety of scratches that were before I bought it. I didn't want to waste time on that with everything else going on. I wanted to make sure it was a good, reliable daily driver before I started doing cosmetics on it. But I'm gonna focus my efforts this morning on the C panel. The Boxster, when I did, if you were watching the past live stream from about a month ago, I replaced the airbag and seatbelt sockets in here. And when I went to put the driver's seat back in, you'll see it in a minute, I put a nasty scratch in the threshold. So we're gonna go through that this morning, and I'm gonna take you through how to fix that. All right. So real quick, I'm gonna try to do a new segment when I can. I'm gonna call it the tool of the week. And the other thing I finished last weekend over Labor Day was the Cayenne, the valve cover gasket. But when I did and where is it? So I have the latest Grime Time video I have out there is the coolant tank removal. When I started doing the valve cover on the passenger side of the Cayenne, when I pulled back all of the engine cover pieces, I discovered that the coolant tank was leaking. I'm going to leave it at that. You can watch the video on the channel, and if you want to see how to replace that tank. Unfortunately, another example of the Cayenne, great car, love it. But when you go to repair something, the coolant tank, if you buy the Porsche part, is $250. I bought an OEM look-alike that was probably manufactured by the same company for the actual Porsche, and that was about $100. So it's still expensive, but I know that repair is done because I park it up on top here on the four-post lift currently, and it was leaking. Before I fixed it, it was leaking down onto my wife's Audi. That's no longer the case. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the fixes here. Before I do that, no one has any questions. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going with that then. All right. So I'm going to move this camera. So now we know we have all the equipment. And I have 3 cameras running. I have the one my hand is on is my Canon EOS R50. Up here is my Insta360 X4. And then the GoPro is the camera that's going to show all the detail shots this morning. So let me take you over. I'm going to make sure I can watch this. But over here, and the first thing I need are glasses. 10:20 already. All right. So I hope you can see this, but well, all right. I'm gonna grab my light. And I know I don't want to make everybody gonna make you seasick here, but all right. Hoping you can see that. There's a good shot of it. Okay. those are the 2 scratches I've already filled in. You say, oh my gosh, that looks horrible. Give me a chance. Because then here's another, you see the white scratches here. These are the 2 here that I've fixed. Maybe hard to see, but there. I'm not much of a lighting expert, but I think you can see there's 2 there. And then here's the monster. I don't need any light to show that. All right. So I'm going to put the camera on the car, and hopefully you can watch what I'm doing from that. Yeah, I just did that on live TV. Sorry. It's actually, here we go. That's probably a better place to mount this. Right. All right. So my first order of business is I'm going to fill that. Well, how do I do that? No comments yet. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's a technology thing or what's going on. All right. The key here. Let's do this. Right. All right. The key with this is you use the color to blend, but you put the clear on to level it, if that makes any sense. If you think of a crack, or if you think of a scratch, it's a V in the paint. Sorry, I'm a little itchy here with allergies. You just want to use enough of the color to match the rest of the car, and then put the clear on to do that. That's why you see on these other 2 defects, I'll sand in a couple of minutes. And it looks unlevel, but that's the clear above it. So I always frequently shake this. Again, I don't use the paintbrush. There's no control over that. In fact, here's a good comparison of these micro brushes versus the traditional paint you get. So I don't like to do that. And here I am. I'm just going to get enough on the brush. Getting a little empty here on the stuff. Lesson learned in the past: put the paint somewhere where you won't spill it. I tend to hold my brush. You see me holding it with 2 hands. Again, you're only doing enough to get the color in. The clear will fill it. You can see that's already blending in. If it looks globby, that's okay. Yeah. Because again, we're going to sand that down later. While I'm at it, I'm just going to fill that one next to it. It's a nasty scratch, but when I'm all done, it'll look pretty good. All right. So there's that one. And already, okay, you could make the argument I addressed it, quote unquote, but that's not good enough in my world. It's just not. Yeah, that's what separates the men from the boys. You'll see I have a couple more here, I think. Well, let me. Yeah, there's one here, and then these two here. So now what am I going to do? I'm gonna fix those since while we're letting that dry. I'm going to show you how I sand these, and we'll get those done. Now would be a good time. Any questions out there? No questions. Okay, well, a shy bunch. It's the 2000. All right. I have the water and the 2 sheets of the 1500 and 2000. Some people use even finer. I've found that um, you start getting above 2000, it's really not doing anything except spending your money on sandpaper that builds up too quickly. I found that I did it again. There's 2000. I'm going to leave that there. And you can see I've torn this paint. I use only small pieces at a time. Now, I always soak my, and there may be better experts out there. This is what I've been doing for 20 years. If you got a different way, share it in the comments. This is an all-purpose Windex. I just use it as a, yeah, and didn't think through that. Luckily it's not going towards the paint I just put on. Generally what you have to do is you go around with the paint, and even with the humidity the way it is today, it's drying in about an hour. So it's deceiving what this looks like right now, but it's actually the clear I put over the paint. Um, and when it starts sounding dry, you put a little bit more on the. And now what I'm doing is I'm actually rubbing my finger across it to see if I feel any high lines to it. And it's real close here. Yeah, I don't feel anything. On the scratch, that is. Okay. Let me dry that off for you. Okay. Now it may be very tough to see, but unfortunately, technology being what it is, you can, right around here, you can see I dulled the paint. And if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, you might say, wow, you made it look worse. And right now I did, in fact. But now what I'm going to do is um, fix that. Okay. I realized that I forgot to put up a, what's the word for it? All right, so here's, forgot to put up a poll because I'm curious to see what people would like to see next. So I've started the community tab on the channel. The community tab, I will start putting polls up to see what people are interested in based on what I have to do here in the garage. But if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see that could apply to cross cars, let me know. All right. So the first thing I'm going to use is the complete compound. Now, I've been using Griot's products for years. I'm not endorsing them, and there's a variety of products out there. I'm not paid endorsement. Everything you see here has been paid for out of my pocket. But I'm just putting a little, I'm going to show my age, but a Brill cream amount. If you know what I meant by that, write it in the comments on what the tagline was for Brill cream. But I'm going to start here, and my apologies if the noise is such, but I'm going to put this on. I always start slow. On my Griot's polisher, this is my small one. I have a larger one. But this is fine for detail work, like door jambs like this. And my so now you see me. Here we go. I work back and forth slowly until I feel I start seeing the compound dry. All right. I think the humidity's making a liar out of me today, but okay. All right. So you can already see it's starting to blend in much nicer. Just the compound alone took most of the my sanding away. I'll move now from the. I'm moving from the orange pad the color, to the polishing pad, and that's generally black. Is the color code for that. And I'm going to use Griot's Complete Polish. I have to say something here. I noticed, no, I just got it on the back of my shirt, but for years, Griot sold both of these in this color yellow bottle. It used to drive me insane, and I said to them several times, can you put it in a different color bottle? They've subsequently, so it was nice to see that they went to just a clear bottle for the compound, as I'm not making those stupid errors. I do enough dumb things in my garage, so you don't. Yep. Sorry, camera. The camera must be the setting. All right. There you go. Fill for craps. A little dab will do ya. Kudos. All right. Thank you for watching in real time. It's good to know somebody's out there. All right. So the black pad and the polish are really bringing this out. Hmm. Okay. Now I'd probably spend a little more time on that, but it's pretty close. And this third one is the one-step sealant from Griot's. This tends to separate very much, and you've got to. In fact, it's getting to the time where I've got to move my chemicals like this into the house and store them inside because the temperature variation out here can be enough to really screw it up. And I just remembered I have to order some of this because I used quite a bit. So I could use this sealant. Takes out just the last of the fine scratches I might have in here, but it's also a sealant. I use this about once a year on my cars. I will polish them out depending on the car. Um, but it acts as a sealant, and then you can put wet. I generally do this once, maybe twice a year, depending on how the winter is. It's getting time to do all of the daily drivers, but then usually quarterly, I'll do wax on that. So this is like once to twice a year, depending on how it's holding up, the weather conditions, and whether the car's stored in the garage. And then waxing over that, I generally do once a quarter. And I found over the years it's a pretty good system. And you generally, when I wash a car and it's starting to bead less and less, that's when I know it's time to either polish it or just put the coat of wax on. Well, I hope you can see that. Well, the key is you can't. It's been addressed. And actually, yeah. So that's showing the color is done now. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move over here, and you'll be shocked to know that that paint is already dry. So I'm going to use my 1500, wet it a little bit. No, it's Phil. Great question. Do I use ceramic polish? No, I do not use ceramic polish. All these products are traditional stuff from Griot's. Uh, I I've seen cars with ceramic polish on it. It's amazing how the water beads off. I just can't believe these bottles that are smaller than this um, and cost several $100s. I can't imagine doing a car. You have to be trained in it, and call me a stick in the mud. I don't know. I've been very successful with this system for me. It works, and it's relatively economical. So that's why I've been sticking with it. Um, yeah. So no, it's not a ceramic, but I'm curious if other people um, have had better luck with ceramics. I mean, that raises the question, right? You have the car ceramic coated by a pro. Costs, I don't even know how much that costs to have done. And the next week you get a scratch. Well, now what do you do? You're right back to either going back to your detailer or having them or doing this system that I'm doing right now. That's right. Yeah, Phil's comment. If it works, don't fix it, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's and I'm always open to new solutions. I haven't had. This is what works for me. Um, it's rare that if I get points taken off, it's for not having addressed a scratch, not as opposed to having looked at it and done the system. I realized with that last scratch, I didn't use the 2000 grit, so this one I'm going to. And unfortunately, I'm hearing cars outside. I don't. Oh, I must have something being delivered. That's what that is. Okay, sorry, you probably can't even hear it. I'm making much ado about nothing. The post office person just came by in their mail delivery truck, and she's still using the old square style truck. Which, fun fact, those trucks were based on the original uh, Chevy S10 chassis. So how old is that? 40 years old, and she's still driving it around. I have to laugh every time I see it. But okay. So again, in my rush to do this, you see a little color coming through, but that's okay. Okay, this is the 2000 grit. And live TV, there's still sometimes you might not just get it. You might have to redo it again. And you're taking so little material off. It's okay. The point here is you get to see how quickly you can do this. And all right, so you could say, "Whoa, what did he do to this scratch?" Okay, and I'm back to my. Okay, ceramic polish on my truck to see that works. I've watched a lot of videos. Well, it's I'm curious too because it's clear. I know a couple of people that have have had their cars done with it, and the results are amazing. The water just sheds off as opposed to beads like traditional wax. So you can make the argument that sheeting is better in that case for drying. You don't get the water spots. Not that acid rain's no longer isn't the problem it used to be 25, 30 years ago, but no. All right. Hopefully this isn't too loud. And I don't press hard. I let the machine do the work. You just basically rest your palm on it to control. I have this set to 2. I like to work a little slower. Should be enough for that. It's very wet. It's not drying at all for some reason. Okay, so candidly, in my rush to do this, you can see I have to fill some spots. A big scratch like that, sometimes that happens. You could almost make the argument, and in fact, probably in a future episode, maybe I'll show how I airbrush, but you can fill this in with, I'm going to come back to this, but I wanted to just show how that's filling in. So, yeah, that section there is a little bit deeper. So I'm going to fill that back in and make it right so that I'm happy with it. It's just sometimes it's trial and error. And we'll move on. While I'm letting that dry, we'll move on to the Cadillac. I've had this bottle several years, not 7. Maybe, I don't know. But here, let's dabble that in a little bit. But clearly, if you saw at the beginning, I'm going in the right direction. When you open the door, when Nurse Nancy opens the door and says, "You gotta," she was worried. Oh, funny story. She let her grandson, 4-year-old grandson, get in the car to play a little bit. And when she went to get him out of the car, she was supervising him. When she went to get him out of the car, she saw the scratch on the door jamb, and I think it was the other day. She said to me, "I have something to tell you." Usually, when she says, "I have something to tell you," it's not a good thing, and it's going to involve me having to fix something. She said, "There's a scratch in the door jamb of the Boxster." And she goes, "I had Luke in the car, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Well, it wasn't Luke's fault." She breathed a sigh of relief as um, she breathed a sigh of relief because I told her it was me doing dumb things in my garage, not her grandson, who's a great little kid. So anyway, all right, let's move on. Yeah, I Phil, that I if it's not a bad idea. In fact, if um, Phil's saying, if you're seeing in the comments, he his truck sits outside. Not a If it's your daily driver and you're doing that, it's probably not a bad thing um, to consider the ceramic as an investment. I don't know what year Phil's truck is, but uh, I was at the dealership the other day looking at the cars while I was waiting to get parts, and I just can't believe the prices of cars. It's been a while since it's going on 10 years since I bought a new car. So um, every time I either go to Costco and look, or uh, they usually have a car on display, I'm just shocked. In fact, my daughter just bought a Toyota Venza down in the Charlotte area, and that made me a little sick on how much she spent for a car, but that's okay. All right. This may be difficult to see. Well, I'm trying. Well, we're right above my index finger are where 2 spots I made are, and be patient with me. Sorry. Okay, let's try that. There and there. That's why you have these handy lights. So I filled those in before we went live. as opposed to this one down here is a white scratch. So, again, oh, Phil's renewing a 97 Ford single cab. Love the single cabs. That Triumph TR6 we picked up yesterday. Uh, it was the company truck for the airport I work part-time at, and it's just amazing how the trucks have so much power now. That truck is a fairly late model one. It's only got 16,000 miles on it. Had the 400 in it, and we had my coworker's aluminum trailer on. You'll see it in the video coming up. After I'm done here, I'm going to be back in there editing the videos on the Imperial and the TR6. So, okay. There is a shot. I think you can see how I've ruined the paint. All right, so I'm rubbing what little fingernail I have over it, and I still feel a bit of an edge. So now I'm going to take the 2000. Work in a circular motion. And both of these cars are clear coat, two-stage paint. So really what you're doing is you're filling in the scratch to get the color to match, and then the rest of it you fill with clear if needed. So and on this car, since it's not really a show car, all right. So I'm hoping that really shows how badly I've dulled up the paint. That's a sign of the clear coat there really doing that. So we're going to take the polisher now and put the compound. Okay. Not sure what that noise is. It's a bearing or what's going on in there, but and I just realized that maybe I should turn the cameras to show me where I'm working, huh? Okay. Right. All right, so the compound is done. Blending most of that away. Now I'll get the polish on it. Again, change the pad out. So that's what I'm doing here, changing the pads. You'll find, so I bought the 5 or I think it's a 7-inch There you go. A little dab will do you. I bought my 7-inch polisher. Well, the years are blending now, but I've probably had that. I've probably had that 15 years now. And I found myself buying, I actually asked for this for a Christmas present because the big one's great on panels like this, on the major panels, but often you're, doing mirrors, the trim, the door jambs. So it was about 7 years ago. I asked for this for Christmas and got it. And the control, this one is a little bit smaller. So generally on the bigger one, you'll see it in the upcoming video of me polishing the Imperial. I use my hand on here, but this one, if you use it slow enough, you have enough control. Your one hand can hold it while you move it around. Okay. So that's a good example because now I can't really, you can't see that scratch. In fact, in normal light, I've still got to do a little bit more work to it, but in normal, so let me give you, so you can't see it with light, without light on it right now, but then you come down here and you see this white scratch. So generally, it's a nice way to blend in and makes it very difficult for onlookers or casual lookers to see what's going on in your car. As I'm looking under the light, it may be difficult. I've got to do more polishing on it, but already you can see that's how that's working. So, yeah. Oh. So, all right. I think that's as far as I'm going to get today. Oh. Did that come back on or not? Hello? What is going on? Oh, sorry. And down here. Well, all right. Just going to sit down for a couple minutes. Any other questions? Yeah, Phil, um, I would recommend that buffer, a small buffer. Candidly, Griot's, I tried to reach out to them to be a brand ambassador, and they were looking for young bucks to do it, not an old borderline gin. What am I? I'm one of the last boomers made. I was born in October '64, but I identify as a Gen Xer. So anyway, old, fat, and bald does not make for a good spokesperson, I guess, even in 2025. But they make good products. But that's probably a rebanded rupee, or however you say it, RUPE, roop. Um, those are also good buffers, or even the big box stores. The big, if you're going to buy a buffer, you want a random orbital. A random orbital. That's the key. So, so we've got about 5 minutes left. What questions can I answer for anybody out there curious? What would you like to see me do in the garage here? Um, I'm going to be. I have coming up. I did finish the valve cover on Cayenne. I'm going to be putting together the video for that. I do have to do a glow plug video on my wife's Audi. Candidly, the airbag light is still on this car. Come to find out, it's now the driver's side sensor. I'm waiting for that to come in. I have to do a timing chain. Nope. I have to do a timing belt replacement on my wife's Audi, but I've already told her we got to figure out 2 days. That's going to be a straight 2-day job of me working on that. Just got to allocate that much time because I'm not sure how long it's going to take me. So, oh, there you go, Phil. Hats off to you, my friend. So I'll be curious. Put in the comments if you're watching this afterwards. Put in the comments what you'd like to see. Go to the community. I'll put a vote out there on my next episode for next Saturday. But generally, you can see, I think the 3 cameras are working now. Looks like the sound is working. So I think I've got a good format here. And as the weather cools down, this morning's not one of them. It's still very humid out, and I was running the air. If you're curious how I keep this room conditioned, if it's too hot or too cold outside, those are the 2 units I bought from Costco. They're right at the very end of my Ben pack. I have a video, one of the earlier videos I did, how to heat and cool your garage for $600. It's probably more like $800 now. That's how long ago I did it. And so more to come on that. And so we've got several series coming up. What I'm doing on the Imperial at the garage, the TR6, getting that to be a running car again. And what else, besides what I'm doing in here. And then coming in January, I'm going to be getting this car ready for a Concours in the middle of June. Yeah, 6 months ahead of time. I'm going to be spending time on this car, mainly up above on the lift, because I've been keeping the outside of this pretty clean for the last few years. We're moving from preparation class to preservation class, which takes it a whole new level. While they're more forgiving on blemishes that I'm likely to see me fixing, now you've added the undercarriage to the mix, and the undercarriage has to look highly detailed. And so I've got a lot of work ahead of me there. That's a perfect winter project when I'm not doing maintenance on the cars. So anyway, that's the latest and greatest here. I do appreciate you watching, whether it's in real time or as an encore presentation. As I'm doing this, I think we're at 4,650 some odd subscribers. So if you like the content, at a minimum, press the like button and do as Phil did and comment. That helps the algorithm in YouTube land say maybe we should get this out to other enthusiasts. It costs you nothing to subscribe, but it does help my channel. And 90% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So I'd like to get that number up, as it helps support the various projects I'm doing, and as well as funding the equipment to make the presentation a high quality effort. So that's the latest and greatest from the Guys with Rides Garage. And if you get a chance, check out the website, guyswithrides.com. That's the community. Where I have a variety of content on there. And then the marketplace. We currently have a Datsun, 1977 Datsun 240Z up for auction. It is a track prepared car. And if you're looking to get into vintage racing, that's a nice car to get involved with that. So check it out. That website is guyswithrides.bid. And so that's the latest and greatest here. Have a great day. If you're here in the Northeast, it's another beautiful weekend. I encourage you to get out and drive. Stay safe doing it, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.